Yeah, and there we are. How are you doing, Erin?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying this Saturday talking with beautiful women as you. And I always ask my guests to present themselves, to tell who they are, where they are from. And there we are. And sorry, it was doing echo. And tell me.
So my name is Erin Stabile. I'm an intuitive alchemist. I am a mom. I am also kind of a marketing, not kind of, I'm a marketing professional, marketing and design. It's kind of been my career. About 4.5 years ago, I had gastric sleeve surgery, and I just chose to really change my life because I lived in anxiety and depression and panic and unhappiness. I just really didn't like my life. Even though I was thankful for my kids and my house and, food and cars, I wasn't happy. And I just kind of remember saying, I need to really change my life, not just lose weight, but, and I found my spiritual mentor 2 weeks later. I started Reiki to help with chronic pain because I have chronic pain, and it really exploded my spiritual gifts, which allowed me to really start healing that I couldn't do with medication. I didn't do with therapy. My mom died when I was very young. There was just a lot of pain, a lot of trauma.
Me too. How old are you?
I was 16. So
I was 10.
Yeah. It leaves this
hole.
Yeah. And, I really just started to survive at that point because, you didn't know how to process the pain. You didn't know what to do with it. And that just really led me to a life of survival and not really being happy and just unhealthy in a lot of ways, and my spiritual journey allowed me to heal and process and understand, communicate with spirit, do all the things. And now I get to help other people, make that shift. So it was a very powerful place for me in my life. So it's just something that I love to be able to help others do now,
Mm-hmm. I understand. So I always felt that I was a very intuitive person. I always felt that I had the strong power. I always felt that I could put my hands on people before I even know what was Reiki and feel the changement, but I was always very scared of. And since I moved to Mexico and I'm taking a year of motherhood because I'm mom for 21 years, I have been allowing or trying to connect even more with that side of me. And I found that I start doing tapping for myself first, and I started doing tapping for my people around me and my clients, because originally I teach digital influence, how to become viral, how to find your clients, how to make more money. But I was finding myself with my clients coming back to me and me doing tapping sessions. And I felt then I was watching one session yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was like, I can feel then this is not knowledge then she studied me. This is just downloads coming. So if you meet someone as me, what is your advice?
So really, everybody has spiritual gifts, whether you want to acknowledge them or not, whether you want to use them or not. We all have them. Empath, and being an empath, being able to feel other people's feelings and thoughts, having that intuitive and psychic connection where you can read people. A lot of massage therapists, hair people, a lot of people that touch people, nurses have, built that. They just don't necessarily know what it is. So my light. I just had another podcast.
Beautiful light. Look, I am here with this pink thing because on my back, and let's play reality where on my back I have my kitchen today. So
I just did a podcast before this and the light blew out when we were talking about my mom. So it was just started to flicker. So, what I like to tell people is your spiritual journey gets to be what you want it to be. If you want it to be a business, if you want it to help your clients, if you want it for yourself, the ability for you to connect to spirit is limitless. It's more learning to calm your mind, learning to connect to spirit, learning to let go of your ego. We have to move through kind of our past and our traumas and our pains to really have a stronger connection. And that's not saying you have to be healed and perfect. You can still do spiritual work energy healing, all of the things while you're healing, because healing is a lifelong process. Like you're never healed like 100%. And if anybody says they're lying. You know, it's you can build.
As well, the concept of being broken needs to change.
We're all broken in our own way. We're all fighting and figuring out, overcoming what we've been through. And, you know, it's all a choice and how we move forward. And do we want to keep allowing our past to be in charge, or do we want to move forward? Do we want to live for today? Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good you eat or how many miles a day you run. Like you could drop dead the second you walk out your door. So like you have to start really living for the moment, you know, and we spend so much time protecting ourselves from our past because we've been so hurt and so had so many things happen to us that we can't embrace today or enjoy today, you know, and that's one thing spirit really helps you bring forward. And whether you're doing energy healing or tapping or hypnosis or whatever, like I do a lot of past life work, and I do a lot of really heavy, deep clearings and soul clearings, and help people connect to spirit and help them develop their gifts and all of the things. It's
helping developing their gifts. I'm very interested on that. But you think it's possible to just go for developing my English, getting in connection with your gifts and amplify, or you need to go through the pain and fix the shadows in your life?
So you don't have to fix everything, but the more that you heal, the easier it is to connect to spirit. So if we're constantly like self-worth, you know, is a big thing for me. So if we're constantly talking negative to ourselves, it's harder to feel like the light
connected,
the energy that God and spirit brings us, you know, it's because they're of the light, they're pure, they're of love. And if we're always talking crap to ourselves, I don't know if I can swear on this one, so I'll try to be clean. But if we're always berating ourselves, you're not good enough. You're not connecting to spirit. You're not like, if you're always telling yourself, that's not spirit, that's not my mom, that's not my grandma, why would God talk to me? Why would, like, you're never going to have that connection that you want with spirit, you know? So you don't have to have this perfect healing and mindset. And, you know, if you're seeing everybody online, like, I make money in the bathtub because I'm beautiful and perfect, is bullshit. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have, I mean, everybody's beautiful, but you don't have to have this beautiful Instagram perfect life to connect to spirit, to have a higher power, to find your own inner power, to find your purpose. Like, you don't have to be perfect in any sense. You're already perfect. You just have to have somebody help you uncover and embrace your gifts to live the life that you want, to have the money that you want, to have the job that you want, to live where you want. Like,
it's possible to have it all.
Mm-hmm. And that was one thing on my spiritual journey that I learned, like, you can have it all. I never really ever felt that before. You know, when your mom and grandma used to say, you can be whatever you want. I'm like, that is such bullshit. But now I understand, like, it really is possible. You know, you have to overcome your own limiting beliefs and, you know, make things happen that you're wanting to make happen. And no, that's not a click of the fingers. Maybe some people do it super easy. Some people take a little bit longer, but it's believing that it's possible is 98% of the journey, you know?
Mm-hmm. What you do, like I just did a post in the group. When I'm on a flow, I'm a getter. Like whatever I put in my beautiful head, I will get. But sometimes some events can kick me out of the flow. And then because I know I'm responsible for my reality, I beat myself up for. Like moving, this week I had a fight with my boyfriend. I moved home, moved out of home, moved in, moved out, rented different apartments, lost my phone, all of this. And I was doing amazing, super amazing last couple of weeks. I never had so much success, never made so much money. But because I was renting a house and etc., I spent a lot of money. And in a moment to the other, poof, I feel that I'm out of flow. And I'm like beating myself and trying to understand how can I be nice for myself and get me back on the flow. Do you have an answer for that?
So, I mean, honestly, I'm in a similar place. My grandmother just passed away. My daughter's car exploded. My dog bit me because he's dying and he's having a hard time chewing. So I had to put my finger in his mouth and he bit me. I had to go to urgent care, like get antibiotics. Like it's just been one thing after another. But it's more about like, okay, this is happening. What do I need to understand about it? It's less about being punished or you can't have good because you can't always be in the good. It's really about looking at it. Okay, well, what is this? What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to understand? And it's really just kind of sitting with it, like, yeah, I took a day for my daughter's car because we haven't had it that long. And I'm like, oh my God, we can't, like, a third car payment, really? But the reality is that that's what I needed to do. I needed to move fast. I needed to figure it out because I know other things are coming and I need to get it done. And it's just kind of knowing and allowing spirit. That's part of your kind of the mind game process. Okay, I don't need to know why this is happening, how, or whatever the reasoning, even though it's hard. You just kind of give it to spirit. I know something better is coming. I know this is happening for a reason. And that's a practice and it takes time because you still sit with it. You're still angry. It's still hard, but it no longer affects me for days, weeks, or months like it used to before. One event, one bad event, and then the next one. And then for 6 months, you're just in a shit mood and you're just like, oh my God, what else? Like, what else? Come on, let's go. You're just waiting for the next bad thing. So it's really about, okay, well, that kind of sucks, but what am I supposed to learn from this? And you might not know what you're learning from it right this moment, but just be open to the lesson that's coming, and life isn't always easy. It's not cherry. It's not Instagram perfect. It's really, it's a process, and it's how do we flow through it? How do we move through it? How do we make it easier on ourselves? What can we do about it? Like, yeah, that sucks moving back and forth, but what do you need to understand about that process? Is there something in there that you're not like, you're giving in when you shouldn't be giving in, or, what is in that process of like, what do I need to understand about this right now? It gives you an opportunity to really dig into what's going on. Okay, is this a problem from my past? Like, am I going from things quickly because, I just need to get out of the situation or whatever it is. It gives you an opportunity to really look at what's happening, what has happened, what you need to do differently. And, it just, instead of looking at everything
as well. No, we should forgive ourselves, understand. Mm-hmm. And if you lose your phone, just that alone, and you just bought the phone and you use that specific phone because I have a great camera and I'm a minimalist, so I don't own a lot of things. Just that alone kicks you off. Mm-hmm. Like all the stress, all the anxiety, all the things, but being nice for ourselves. Tell me successful stories of your clients.
Really, I love watching them shift and really embrace spirit in a more powerful way of, like, for me, there was a lot of fear. I see that theme in a lot of people that I work with, like fear of spirit, fear of life, when those kind of things happen in their life.
Or fear of the power.
Both, fear of what's happening, fear of spirits are pulling in, fear of like that overwhelming anxiety sometimes when spirit comes in.
Well. I still have that.
Yeah. And that, like, it's really helping people get past themselves. Really. I love watching that people really find their power in their spiritual journey and in their life. And me as an intuitive, as medium, as an empath, I can see people, I can see their real soul, what they're capable of, how shitty they talk to themselves. Like, and, that's kind of a different aspect that you get to help people with of, well, you're telling me you don't say mean things to yourself, but that's not the truth. Like, dude, you're saying super shitty things to yourself. Like, what do we need to do about that? Well, how do we need to shift it? And really just helping people find their power, because you just get to step into their life in just a bolder way, connecting to spirit when they want to, how they want to, where they want to, just being really in control and using spirit for their highest and best good, for their clients' highest and best good, for their family's highest and best good. It's instead of that kind of spotty connection to spirit, or I can't trust what I'm getting, or all of those things. I just love watching how people just kind of come out really as who they really are, but they, for whatever reason, have held back or been held back, or their past is holding them back, all of those pieces and parts. It's not just a one person thing. It's mostly all of us have a lot of pieces and parts that hold us back, so it's cool to watch people kind of overcome that.
Do you feel a super powerful person, like a superhero?
I mean, no and yes. Like I'm not good with the like self pushing, like I'm awesome, but I'm working on it. So yes,
you are awesome.
Feel like that, but
you should do some tapping. I have some happy tapping to make you feel like amazing. Okay, so you are saying that you can read people. I'm curious to know what you read about me.
Very kind of closed off, you're just very cautious with who and what you do and who you let in, and we all have our things from the past that for reasons that we do that, and working on that for yourself. And what do you do and how do you trust? And, finding your own power in that, like you can trust who you choose to trust, and it's okay to trust. And how do you find that trust?
Smell it. I smell it, the energy. And normally my first impression of someone is the correct one.
Yeah. Clear olfactory is the smelling. See, I don't have a sense of smell, so I got nothing on that one.
Exactly. What kind of offers do you have at this moment?
I always have just single sessions. So if somebody wants a really deep, understanding, clearing in the Akashic records, intuitive session, if you're just like, I just have some questions, on my life path and my business, maybe about spirit. And with all my sessions, you walk away with kind of a game plan, hey, you need to try this. This is what spirit's really telling me. This is what they are really urging you to do right now. I also have 1-to-1 mastering your spiritual badassery. So if you're in that spiritual spot and you're just like, I feel stuck, I really want to move forward, that's like a 1-to-1 12-week program where we really kind of shift you through those.
How many sessions do you have per week?
One private session, like one-to-one session. And then it would be like Vox or Access, so if you have questions or something's coming up. So that really just helps people kind of shift from where they're at in their spiritual journey to where they're wanting to be. And Reiki. So if you want to learn Reiki, I'm doing, virtual Reiki attunements, and then it'll have like an intuitive kind of kicker is what I call it, because when I did Reiki, all of my intuition stuff turned on and I didn't really know what to do with it. And so just kind of adding that element into it, because whether you do Reiki just for yourself or you want it to do it as a business, your intuition kicks on and it's kind of overwhelming. So Reiki 1-2 master and teacher, and then teaching the Akashic records. So if you want to learn to read your Akashic records, what to do about it, that is a class that I'm offering right now.
Oh, I love that. I did think I know someone who would do it, who would read them, but I did not know you could read by yourself. I never did ask myself that question.
Yep. And, past life work, that is something for me that has always been very prevalent. I've always been able to like touch something and like flash back to the time. And I didn't really know what it was, but when I started kind of past life and Akashic work, everything made sense. So now I know people are like, I just can't shake this person, or this keeps happening. I'm like, oh, it's not this lifetime issue, so it's.
Can we clear that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Nice. Where are you online? How can people find you? What is your link? What are your links, etc.?
Yep. So my website is vintagemoons.com. And then on Instagram, it's Erin Vintage Moons, and Facebook, I believe, is Vintage Moons as well. So I have a private group. If people just want to ask questions, or, sometimes you don't want to ask spiritual stuff out in the open if you don't want your grandma to see what you're doing, or whatever it is. And there is a business page as well. So, and I do have a podcast, a Spiritual Badass Podcast. So I'm all over.
Yeah, you are going to send me all that links. Do you have my Facebook? Are we connected on Facebook?
I believe so.
If not, you can please don't forget, because I want to be sure then I add them too. If you had a message for yourself 10 years ago, what was it?
It would be to really, it's okay to take time for yourself. I spent most of my life taking care of others because I didn't know how to
take care of you.
it was easier to take care of other people because I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know how to feel my feelings. I didn't know what to do with them. So it was just easier to help other people solve their problems. So, my kids are 17 and 13, and I've always just dedicated 150% of my life and time to them. And I probably would be like, you need to take some time for you. It's okay. Because my mom died when I was young, just like you. So like you probably wanted to spend all your time with your kids because
I did, but now comes the plot twist. At this moment in my life, I'm for 7 months without my kids. And the reason I have teenager kids, I have 6. So they start 21, 22, 21, 19, 15, 14, and I just have a little girl, 7. But I was so burned out, I was so unhappy, I was so depressed, I just didn't want to die. And a bunch of coincidence did happen and brought me to Mexico to evaluate the possibility of us moving in. And I arrived here and I decided I was not going back. It's not because of my kids. I was in a very complicated relation where my ex-husband is a great father, but not the husband that I wish I had. So yes, I lived 21 years constantly taking care of everyone. And I did not even know what to shopping for myself when I went to the supermarket. I cried, and for 6 months I cried every day. But I decided I was going to do a self-love journey for 1 year. And that 12 months was going to try to make me understand who I am, because you cannot give what you don't have. And I was being a nasty mom, not that I was beating my kids or something like that. I was just constantly, I was over drinking. I was constantly saying terrible things to my ex-husband, not that he did not deserve, if that is a thing, but it's not my kids' fault. And it have been hard because of the divorce, I cannot talk with them, but I always talk on the podcast. So if one day they want to be sure if mom was looking for them, they can come back and see it. But it was tough for me. My kids were my life because I had no mom. My father died in some way with my mom as well. Not that he died, and I did think if I have kids, they will love me forever. And then they arrived to teenager years and
they don't want anything to do with you.
Yes. And they don't care. You cannot kiss them. You cannot say anything. You don't know anything. They know everything. And you start looking, I had a very terrible fight with my oldest son, and was I don't want to say my favorite, but I was 19 and I had a baby. And that broke my heart. And I wait, they are not my property. They're not mine. We are together on this, but I don't know who I am. I don't know. And another thing was this constantly message. Then I had a mission to do, and this was related to spirit, made me understand that I did need to be here. And here the energy is really strong, and it brings this connection more fast and it's more clear for me. So it's tough, very tough. And I'm happy that I'm not crying now, because normally I always cry when I talk about that. But yeah, I totally understand you.
So definitely, if you're a mom, wherever you're at on your path, and if you've given 100% of your life to others because you don't know how to deal with yourself or take care of yourself or what you would even do with yourself, you have to start taking some time for yourself. It's okay to take a class. It's okay to get a babysitter. It's okay to ask your husband to watch your kids. It's okay to take a break. Like, they're not going to die without you. They're not going to it's okay. And my son has extreme anxiety. He couldn't be away from me. So it was even more taxing, if I did go do something, my husband's like, when are you going to come home? When are you going to come home? So it's like, you just get to the point where it's like not even worth doing anything, because you're just waiting for the call of when are you going to be home? When are you going to be home? And you just have to start finding ways. For me, I had to start meditation, which was super hard for somebody who is busy 24/7. Like, you have to learn to calm your mind. You have to do the things. And if you've say you've tried everything and nothing's ever worked for you, so you're just going to live this way. That's not true. There is a million things you can do. You just have to have enough faith to keep trying and find what works for you. Because it doesn't have to be Western medicine things that work for you. Like, they didn't work for me. So, spiritual stuff has worked for me, and it's allowed me to release and clear and move forward and find my purpose and a million things, and it's a powerful place. You just have to have enough faith to know that the right thing is out there for you and be willing to find it, ask for it.
I have 2 invitations for you. One invitation is I'm hosting a free event next weekend, say 20 to 24, and is online and is for women, is a limited space and is for women to come and go through becoming a viral influence queen, on the sense not of having thousands of followers, but expanding their gift, expanding the eyeballs on their gift. That is the first one. The second one is I always offer to my guests a 12, like you do a 12 roads map session. I do it for free for us to see what I can see. I always have a gift, like my main gift is looking through something and really find a way to tell your story even in a more powerful and strong way. That is what did happen to me. I used to be a DJ. I became viral because I did viral videos, so I know how brains work. But I will send all that links, but I want to end this with your favorite quote. Or one of.
I really just like the, live for today. Your past does not get to dictate your future. And if just live for today, don't let your past make your decisions for you, and I that's one of my favorite ones, because, we're never guaranteed tomorrow, and our past can either destroy us or we can let it go,
I love your headphones.
My little ones.
They are really
into my
nice.
microphone.
They're really nice. Okay, thank you so much. I am going to say bye to everyone here, and then I'm going to say bye properly to you. Guys, don't forget to keep subscribing, commenting, and follow us in all the networks, and we share on the comments and on the